Happy New Year, YouTube. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. For those that don't know, my name is Matthew and this is Matthew Hawker Gaming. So to apologise to my regular viewers, so that I haven't done one of these videos for a while because I haven't been feeling very well. Unfortunately, the weather and various things were getting to me. Anyway, let's say I'm back now and we're going to resume with my regular videos. And for those that don't know, my name is Matthew. I do various MTG videos. I do what's called my Commander series today, which we're going to feature my Dragon deck. And I also do various pack opening videos, and I also do various other game content. So I do video game content as well. All right, today we're going to feature in my Commander series, we're going to talk about my Dragon deck, which has been with me now for quite a while. Anyway, so we're going to feature my Scion of the Dragon deck. I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of the cards I feature in the deck. And as always, I'm going to link my the deck list on Moxfield as well. So I'll link that in the description or the comments. Anyway, let's go and have a look at what's today. So I'll just show you the window out of the window. I mean, you say it's quite cold here in the UK. I'm in England, for those that don't know me in person. All right. Right, let's go to today's deck. So today's deck is going to be a dragon deck. And so dragons is definitely going to be one of the most popular tribes in Magic, and there's lots of dragons, and in general it's one of the most popular creature types, I would say, due to its popularity. Okay, so basically I'm going to, so this is what, it's 5 color, today's deck is 5 colors. I'm going to tell you a bit about other commanders and stuff that you could feature, but this is what I've been using. And this is before, I've had this deck since like for quite a while now, like 7 years or something like this. And this is my commander. So this is Scion of the Dragon as opposed to the actual Dragon, which is more popular now as is probably one of the most popular dragon commander, either that or Mirren anyway. Anyway, this is Scion of the Dragon. It's Woburg. For 4/4 flyer, it has an ability on it, which is the key focus of the deck. It's 2 mana. I like things that tutor in general, so this is being one of those things. Train just went past. All right. So you 2 mana. You search your library. Sorry about the glare on this. So quite a lot of these cards are foil. Alright, 2 mana, search your library for a dragon card and put it into your graveyard, basically. So if you do, the Scion of the Dragon becomes a copy of that card until the end of the turn, then shuffle your library. It's worth bearing in mind it will copy all the abilities and everything, but you won't get any enter the battlefield triggers. And there's there's a combo, and some of them are just good things for value. So you're generally looking at basically a load of dragons in the deck that you can basically are like tutor targets. And then there's some various other things. Anyway, we'll go into things. So we'll start with the creatures, and there's going to be the bulk of the deck being creatures, and then we'll go into the supporting things and everything. Okay, so we'll just start with the colourless ones. So this is Steel Hellkite. Everyone knows Steel Hellkite. This was the promo for the time. For those that don't know how these they used to give you a fixed promo when you took part in a pre-release event. And then they did some different ones. So you used to get a fixed promo that you couldn't used to be able to play. Now you can play your promos and they're different. So this one was dating back to 2010, which is when I believe is when I started playing Commander in 2010. Yeah, I've been playing since 2010 for Commander. I've been playing a lot longer though. I've been playing like coming up 25 years next year. It's 24 years. All right, so this is Steel Hellkite, a 5/5 artifact creature. It's a dragon, obviously. It has flying, it has basically 2 mana, Steel Hellkite, get +1/+0, and it's X, destroy each non-land permanent with converting mana cost X, who each controller was dealt combat damage by Steel Hellkite, activate only once a turn. Just a good thing, gets rid of a lot of things. Anyway, that was the only artifact, only mono artifact thing in the deck. Okay, so this is the Dragon. This is the 5-color thing, which is the other one. So this is the Scion of the Dragon into the Dragon. Alright, so Dragon is probably one of the most played Dragons Commander. Is it better? Probably, but I would say I like it in the deck. I like changing my commanders. Anyway, it's 4 and Woburg for a 10/10. It has Eminence, and as I said, one of the people in one of my playgroups was complaining a lot about Eminence recently. I mean, you say Eminence is based on ability, which you is a thing you can't really interact with. So basically, it's on a couple of cards, this being one of them. It's also on Edgar Markov and some other things as well. So Eminence reads, as long as the Dragon is in the command zone or on the battlefield, other dragons suppose you cast cost 1 less to cast. It's 10/10 with flying, and when one over one or more dragons you control attack, draw that many cards, then you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. So being Oloro was one of the other original things that basically had eminence triggers that you couldn't interact basically with. Alright, not an probably an overpowered thing. And you say if you want to play the deck as the Dragon, you can do. That's an option. So this is another one of the 5 color things. This being okay. Okakagachi Vengeful Kami, and then you say this is a dragon spirit as well if you have a spirit deck. I mean, I've seen people with some spirit deck as well. Alright, so it's 1 and a Wobo for a 6/6 flying with trample, and it's whenever Kami deals combat damage to a player, if that player attacked you during his or her last turn, exile target non-land permanent the player controls. Oh, it's worth bearing in mind with the Sign of the Dragon, you can do this at instant speed though. So if they try and kill it, for instance, you can morph into like a thing that will give it hex proof effectively and stuff like that. Right, let's go into the 3 color ones. So this is Teneb the Harvester. So this is 3 black, green, and white, or Abzan as you think for 6/6/5. Most of them are like either 5/5 or 6/6s. Average stat line on a dragon. And it's whenever Teneb deals combat damage to a player, you may 2 and a black. If you do put target creature in a graveyard into play under your control, it can be any graveyard. It doesn't have to be the person you deal damage on that one. Then we've got stuff like Rift. This is being the Rift from what's it from? Dominaria United, I believe. Yeah, that's correct. So it's a Naya, so 2 red, green, and a white for 5/5 with flying ward 2. It gives other dragons you control ward 2, which means they can't be targeted by spells, abilities without having to pay 2 extra. And it's at the beginning of the end step. If a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls was dealt excess damage this turn, you create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. Now we get into some of the larger things in the deck. These are good. So this is 4 black, red, green for an 8/8 with flying, trample, and a haste. This was played in Oath of Druids in Vintage once, when I started anyway. Anyway, so this is basically a 8/8 flyer. It has fire breathing red to give something +1/+0 until the end of turn. Oh no, it gets +1/+0 until the end of turn. It also has regeneration for black and a green, which is good if someone tries to kill your commander. You can shift into this and get regeneration, for instance. Right, so then we go on to the Wasitora, the Necroquint. There's a lot of exotic names in this. The Anthony from Red Man of Madness would struggle to pronounce. I'll do my best. Alright, this is cool. It's a cat dragon. It is 2 and John 2, so black, red, and a green for 5/4 with flying and trample. It's when Wasitora deals combat damage to a player. That player sacrifices a creature. If the player can't, you create a 3/3 black, red, and green cat dragon token with flying. I would show you the token, but I haven't looked them out of the box. But the deck list will tell you all the tokens you need for the deck as well. So this is Carthus, Tyrant of John. This is 4 black, a red, and a green for a 7/7 with flying and haste. As you see the little symbol in the corner, it's a list copy, so it was cheaper when it was reprinted. Flying and haste, so it's when it comes into play, gain control of all other dragons. That's if people have other dragons, you can steal them by this method. You gain control of all the dragons, then untap all of them. It's other dragon creatures. It's also a haste outlet, so give you things in this deck struggle with like it takes a while to set up, and giving them obviously haste normally accelerates the deck by at least a turn. Right, so then we move on to the most popular. I think it's one of the most popular commanders, and it's probably the most popular dragon commander other than the thing. So if you want to play Miriam Sentinel Worm as your commander and just play Teemo Dragons, which is 3 green, red, and a blue for 6/6. It's also a good option. And also, the less colours your deck is, the more consistency it has. And also, it is generally cheaper because the mana basis is a lot easier. Anyway, so Miriam is also a good option. It's a 6/6 with flying and ward 2, and it's when a non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a token that's a copy of it, except the token isn't legendary if the dragon is legendary. Okay, so then we move on to it. Is it with the last 3 color dragon in the deck? So this is Bolas the Ravager. Is it a dragon or is it a planeswalker? Well, it's both actually. It's a Grixis, so it's blue, black, and a red for a 4/4 flyer. It's when Nicol Bolas the Ravager enters, each opponent discard a card. So then it has a transform clause on it, so that's why I've got it up the sleeves. It's a lot easier to show you. So it has 4, a blue, black, and a red to exile Nicol Bolas, then return him to the battlefield transformed under his control, add the ability as a sorcery speed, and it transforms into this planeswalker here. So Nicol Bolas the Arisen, it's the thing. It's got starts with 7 loyalty. It +2 is draw 2 cards. -3 deals 10 damage to target creature or planeswalker. -4 put target creature or planeswalker card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, and -12 is exile all bar the bottom card of target opponent's library. So basically just kills one person. Right, so that's the Nicol Bolas. Won't be the only Bolas in the deck. We'll get to those in a minute. So we move on to some of the dragons that originate from like Khan's block. So dragons of Tarkir and Khans of Tarkir. This being a Dragon Lord of Tarkir from Khans of Dragons of Tarkir. As you see, they've got the mark on the thing, which is generally the kind of like thing they're associated with. Okay, so it's a 5 red and a green for an 8/8 flying with trample. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 5 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers your opponents control. Then we go. Oh, I'll probably do the other Tarkir next. Yeah, makes more sense. Okay, so this is a Tarkir the World Render of being a 5, a red and a green for a 6/4. So it reads flying and trample. It's whenever dragon you control attacks, it gains double strike. So that's pretty good. All your creatures are very large, and it ends the game quite quickly. So this is Dragon Broodmother. This one probably isn't as well known. It's triple red though. It's 2 red, 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 green for 4/4, and it's similar in style to like a Verdant Force or something like that. It makes things in each player's upkeep. So it's the beginning of each upkeep. Put a 1/1 red and green token creature token with flying and devour 2. So basically, devour means as the token comes into play, you may sack any number of creatures. It comes into play with twice that many +1/+1 counters. And then we go to my favorite dragon personally, and being the only green-white Celestia dragon. So this Dragon Lord Dramoka, it's just a good card in general. It's more expensive than some of the dragons, but like it's a good card. Anyway, 4 a green and a white for 5/7 fly. It can't be countered. It's got flying and lifelink. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn, so it means they can't really interact with your thing, and it's good if you've got various bits in the deck. Anyway, it's just a good dragon. It's my favorite one in the game. I'm a Celestia player at heart. Anyway, we go on to the blue-black ones. So it goes Solemn the Drifting Death. This is 4 a blue and a black for a 3/7. It has flying and hexproof. It's whenever a dragon you control attacks creatures defending play, control get -1/-0 until the end of the turn. So it's good against mowing down like token hordes, which are quite common in Commander. We've got Dragon Lord Solemgar. It's worth bearing in mind, people, as well. I also play quite a lot of Limited as well. I don't play any 60 card formats anymore, but I also play a lot of Limited. Anyway, I also do pack opening videos. I'm going to be doing a pack opening video in only like 2-3 weeks when the next set comes out, which is Ether Drift, and I hope you join me for that. And we normally do giveaways on the channel, so I normally end up giving away some arena codes and stuff. I hope you join me for that. Alright, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks very much. Alright, so Solemgar is 4 blue and a black for a 3/5. He's got flying and death touch. When he enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature or planeswalker for as long as you control Dragon Lord Solemgar. It's worth bearing in mind you won't get the come into play effect, because if you use the Scion to get it, but like it's good if you play the card. Anyway, then we've got Bladewing the Risen. So in this deck you're normally tutoring for a load of dragons and you're dumping them into the graveyard. This is just a way to get them back. I had more reanimation in the deck at a point, but I don't feel in fact you need it. I'm just playing a couple of pieces. Anyway, this is Bladewing the Risen, 3 black, black, and a red, red for 4/4. When it comes into the battle play, you may return target dragon from your graveyard to play, and it has an anthem effect, which is black and red, all dragons +1/+1 until the end of turn. Then we've got Dragon Lord Colligan. As you see, a lot of these are foil. I got them from the pre-release at the time. Some of them I opened and some of them I traded for. So I've got 4 Dramoka, but it's in another deck. Alright, so this is Dragon Lord Colligan. So 4 black and a red for a 6/5. Flying and haste. It's other creatures you control have haste. It's when an opponent casts a creature or planeswalker spell with the same name as the card in his or her graveyard, that player loses 10 life. Good if people play petitioners, rats, all that kind of thing. Right. Then we got the blue-white dragons. We got Ojitai. So he's a Soul of Winter. I've also got this in. I think I've got this in my stacks deck as well, in theory. So this is 5 blue and a white for 5/6 with flying vigilance. It's whenever a dragon you control attacks, tap target non-land permanent and opponent controls that permanent doesn't untap during the untap step. Then we've got Ojutai, this one being this one. I've played this in standard. At the time I played this in a blue-white, always watching kind of deck. This is basically Dragonlord Ojutai has hexproof as long as it's untapped, and it's whenever it deals combat damage to play. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one into your hand and the rest on the bottom of the library in any order. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Right, I'm okay. All right, now we go on to the mono dragons. So you say there's quite a few of these as well. All right, I'll just go through them. Right, so we start with the bronze. And as I say, if you don't have any of these dragons, just fill in with what you've got. I mean, you say this, I'm trying to do what my optimized list. If you don't have them, just proxy. I would say most people don't actually care that much. Wizards might, but I don't know. Anyway, this is old Gnawbone, 5 of green for a 7/7 flyer. It's when no creature you control does combat damage to a player, create that many treasure tokens. That card's just one of the better dragons. Then we've got the original Kamigawa. So the original dragons emanated from Kamigawa. These aren't the original printing. So these are the reprintings from Iconic Masters. Yeah, from Iconic Masters. So this is Yosai the Morningstar. So it's the Yoshi or whatever you call him, like on Mario. Anyway, so 4 and a white for 5/5 flyers. When Yosai the Morningstar dies, they all have death triggers, these dragons from Kamigawa anyway. And the new ones do as well. Actually, the new ones aren't that many of them in here. I thought the Neon Dynasty dragons weren't that good for this deck, and the original ones are just better for this kind of thing. Although they are good in their own right, they're not that good in this deck. It's when it dies, target player skips his or her untap step, tap up to 5 target players that the permanents the player controls. Oh, some of them are the original artwork. So that's Kaga the Tidal Star. So it's a 5/5 when he is put into graveyard from play, gain control of target creature. And we've got some of the ancient silver dragon. That's just a good thing. 6 blue and a blue for an 8/8. I think that was one of the last ones I needed to finish this deck. And it's whenever all the ones that emanate from the thing that have a basically roll a d20 because they emanate from the D&D set. So when it deals combat damage to a player, roll d20, draw cards equal to the result. You have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. That's Hellkite Charger, 5/5 flyer. It's 5 and a red to get another combat step, basically. Terror of the Peaks. This was reprinted recently as well. This is just this printing. 3 and a red for 5/4 flyer. It spells your opponent's cast that target it. Costs 3 life in addition. And it's when another creature enters the battlefield under control. Terror of the Peaks deals damage to the equal to the creature's power to any target. So it's very similar to one of the enchantments that I'm going to show you later. Hellkite Tyrant, 6 mana for a 6/5 flying with trample. When it deals combat damage, player gain control of all artifacts the player controls. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 20 more artifacts, you win the game. You might do it in combination with the treasure generator. Anyway, it's good at stealing things anyway. Then we've got Scourge of Vulcus. The problem with a lot of these red dragons are they're quite red intensive. So this one is 2 red for 4/4. It's whenever it or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to target creature or player, where X is the number of dragons you control. Red, Scourge of Valkas gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Right, what else have I been doing? I've obviously been playing my games as normal. I've been playing my lots of Commander. I played, what did I play? I think I played 4 games yesterday. I played something like 7 games on Sunday, I think. So I play normally like 3 to 4 times a week for Commander with some limited intermix. This is Thunderbreak Regent. This was one of the game day promos. For those that don't know the game day promos, as that they basically used to get, some of them were participation cards, which everyone got, and normally you got some for top 8. Now some of them you only get the things for winning. Some of them are based on winning. This is Thunderbreak Regent. 2 red for 4/4. So whenever a dragon you control becomes a target with a spell and ability an opponent controls, it deals 3 damage to the player. Then we've got Vara Hellkite. And when you said that most of these have been reprinted quite a few times now, so they've gone down in price. So Vara Hellkite is an 8 mana 6/6. It's whenever a dragon you control attacks, create a 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze again. Apologies, I'm just recovering from a cold. Alright, Ancient Copper Dragon is a 4 red for a 6/5. This is one of the bigger, more expensive dragons, and it's also one. I don't really say that it dates to the D&D thing. So the metallic dragons in D&D are good, and the chromatic ones being evil. say, so whenever Ancient Copper Dragon deals combat damage to a player, roll d20, you get a number of treasure tokens equal to the result. Then we go on with some more. So we go in front of the star mounts, this being the full art version. So 4 red and red for a 6/6, it can't be countered. It's got flying and haste. Got fire breathing +1/+0 for red, and when its power becomes 20 this way, it deals 20 damage to any target. I've not done that yet, but if you have loads of treasure, you might be able to do it. Then we've got Scourge of the Throne. It's just another combat step thing. It's 4 red for a 5/5. It has flying and dethrone. Dethrone being whenever the creature attacks the player with the most life or tied for most life, put a +1/+1 counter. Whenever the Scourge of Thrones attacks for the first time, if it's attacking the player with the most life or tied for most life, untap all attacking creatures after phase. There's another combat phase. And we've got Goldspan Dragon, just another good dragon in general. 3 red for 4/4 with flying and haste. When it attacks or becomes target of a spell, create a treasure token. There's quite a few treasure generators in this deck. It is quite mana and color intensive. As treasures you control have tap, sack, add 2 mana in any color. And we've got Rosie, the Falling Star from the original Kamigawa. Rosie reads, when it is put into graveyard from play, it deals 5 damage to each creature without flying. Everything in this deck flies. Then we've got Balefire Dragon, which is one of the most common things to shift into against certain creature-based decks. Anyway, it's a 7 mana 6/6. It's whenever Balefire Dragon deals combat damage to a player, it deals that much damage to each creature the player controls. Good for mopping up tokens mainly. And then we've got Lathlis, the Dragon Queen, 4 and a red for 6/6. Whenever non-token dragon you control enters the battlefield, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying, and it has 1 and red. Dragons you control get +1/+0 into end of turn. Nearly done on the creatures, and then we go. I am for about 40 minutes or so on these videos. And we need to say later in the year, I'm also may show some arena gameplay at some point. I'll probably do some draft or brawl content for that, but we'll see about that later. I also do various other videos, such as from a Magic Player's Perspective series, which are basically me showing various other games, maybe TCGs and roguelikes. I'm probably going to do one on TCG Pocket soon. Anyway, this is Tyrant's Familiar, 5, a red for a 5/5 with haste. It has Lieutenant. So Lieutenant is as long as you control your commander, basically. So it gets +2/+2, and whenever it attacks, it deals 7 damage to target creature defending player controls. Then we got nearly there. We've got a combo coming up. There's only one particular combo in the deck. The rest are just like synergies. This is Ancient Brass Dragon. I mean, most of this cycle is quite good. I'm not playing the white one. I mean, some people might, but I just didn't feel it was good enough. It makes some amount of flyers, I believe, when it deals damage. Anyway, this is Ancient Brass Dragon. This is good because you're sending a lot of things to the graveyard. So this is a way to reanimate them back. So it's whenever it deals combat damage to player, roll d20. When you do, put any number of target creature cards with mana in value X or less from graveyards onto the battlefield you control, where X is the result. Right, this is the last and one of the most popular, I think it's most played is probably more accurate thing. This is Kakushu from original Kamigawa, but this being the reprint. So this is 5/5. But they're all spirits from the thing. They're dragon spirits from the Kamigawa dragons as well. So they're 2 creature types. Oh, it doesn't die to one of the Wrens. I believe one of the Wren flesh is destroy target one's flesh and one's non-spirit, I believe. Anyway, so this is flying. When it deals that combat, when Kakushu dies, each opponent loses 5 life. You gain life equal to the life loss this way. So normally that's quite a swing. Now we've got the combo. I'm going to explain the combo. There's 2 cards in the deck. So basically, you can shift into various things. In the combination, if you shift into these 2, it basically wins you the game. Well, it doesn't win you the game. It kills one opponent, basically. You can kill them from regardless of what life total they're on. You can probably guess one of them. If you can guess the second piece, I'll give you a second to think about it. All right, you thought about it? I know you say there's 2 cards involved in this combo. So there's this card, which is Molten Steel Dragon. So this has got a special thing. So this is Phyrexian mana, which means basically you can pay life or the red symbol on the card. So as is written, it's a 4 Phyrexian for 4/4. It basically has what's effectively, it has life breathing, so which is Phyrexian. Molten Steel Dragon gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Can you name the card that will basically enable you to kill your opponent with commander damage? Because this shifts into a copy of this, and then there's another card that comes in as well. You probably couldn't know it is if you've seen this deck in person. I've definitely killed with this recently. Anyways, this is Skithrix the Blight Dragon. This is 3 of black and a black for a 4/4 with flying and infect. Infect reads this creature deals damage in the form of -1/- counter and players in the form of poison counters, and if they get the 10 count, they lose, kind of thing. So basically, you can shift into one of them, and you can pay life, and then you can so you'll be dealing damage in the form of poison counters, and then you can pay to pump the thing with the life breathing, and then you can kill them regardless of thing. You probably have to pay life or red mana into it, but you can kill them. You basically deal them damage in the form of infect, and basically you can pump. Normally you only have to pay 6 life to do it. So if I didn't explain it very well, just look up Skithrix Molten Steel combo and it can explain it. And worth bearing in mind, it is commander damage. It counts as being a copy of this in terms of dealing commander damage. All right, so that's the combo in it. Let's go into the other support cards in the deck. Let's go into the Planeswalkers. As we know, I'm playing the Planeswalkers. Most of these are dragon themes anyway, so we're playing them. So we've got this Ugin. This is one of the nicer Ugins. I do have the various selection of Ugins. It's one of my favourite Planeswalkers. Obviously, this being the M21 one. I've got some other printings as well. I mean, Ugin the Spirit Dragon, being the full art from M21, starts with 7 loyalty, +2 is bolt. New 3 damage to any target. I pretty much won a game with that recently, just bolting people to the head. It's -X is exile each permanent with converting cost X or less. That's 1 or more colors. -10 is you gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, and put up to 7 permanents from your hand onto battlefield. So it's a bit like an ultimatum. Then we go to this various Sarkans, which is one of the characters in the story associated with the dragons. I'm not a huge storyline expert though. Alright. Sarkhan is 4 red and a red for 5 loyalty Planeswalker. +2 is deal 1 damage to each opponent and each creature your opponent controls. -3 is deal 4 damage to a target or Planeswalker. It's -9 is while you're playing it though. Search your library for any number of dragon creature cards, put them onto the battlefield and then shuffle your library. Unlikely to go off, but will win you the game more or less. If it goes off because you get Dromoka, they won't be able to interact with them and they'll all have haste. So this is Sarkhan the Mad. It's a bit like a Dark Confident style effect on a Planeswalker. It's 3 of black and a red for a 7 loyalty. It's 0 mana is Dark Confident basically. It's reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. Sarkhan deals damage to himself equal to the card's converted mana cost. This is a list copy, as you can see. It's in the symbol in the bottom left. Its -2 is target creature's controller sacrifices it, then put a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying onto the battlefield. -4 is each dragon. This normally kills 1 player outright. It's each dragon creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target player. Then we go on to the team of Sarkhan. So Sarkhan Unbroken, 2 green, red, and a blue for a 4/4. +1 is draw a card, then add 1 mana of any colour in your mana pool. So basically the early game for this deck is trying to set up your mana and basically get all the colours, and then basically need to cast various things. You don't have to generally play very many things. You basically get the commander out, you basically tutor for a load of dragons, and then basically you clean up the board and you win from there basically. So it's -2 is put a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying onto the battlefield. I do like tribal decks. They're some of my favourite decks. What are your favourite tribal decks? Let me know in the comments. And you say if you've got any other comments, just leave them below. I do generally reply to them. It's -80, search your library for any number of dragon creature cards and put them onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. Then we've got various forms of Bolas, this being the Nicol Bolas, the Planeswalker, as opposed to the Nicol Bolas, the original one, which was the dragon where you had to pay an upkeep. And that was before my time anyway. Anyway, so this is 5 loyalty Planeswalker. It's +3 is destroy target non-creature permanent. -2 is gain control of target creature. It's -9 is Nicol Bolas deals 7 damage to target player. They discard 7 cards, then sack 7 permanents. Then we've got another Bolas. This is Nicol Bolas, the Dragon God. This is also in my Planeswalker deck. That was my most popular Magic video anyway, and it's my most popular video. It's got over 1,000 views. Check out my Prismatic Bridge Super Friends video if you want to see more Planeswalkers. I actually think it's one of the better mechanics they've had in the game since it came out as well. Alright, its +1 is you draw a card. Each opponent eats X as a card from their hand or a permanent they control. -3 is destroy target creature or Planeswalker. -8 is each opponent who doesn't control a legendary creature or planeswalker loses the game. And then lastly, this one, Nicobolus Godpharaoh from Amonkhet thing out of Owl. So we've got 4 blue, black, and a red for 7. It's +2 is target opponent and exiles card from top of his or library until they exile a non-land card. Until end of turn, you may cast the card without paying its mana. It's +1 is each opponent exiles 2 cards from hand. -4 is deals 7 damage target opponent or creature an opponent controls. It's -12 is exile each non-land permanent your opponents control. Right, those are the things. So there we go onto the spells. So these are the supporting things. So dragons take a while to set up. So we go into the support cards. They're mainly wraths. There's a bit of other stuff as well. So we go into the spells. Anyway, so the link in Moxfield will tell you all the things, all the printings and everything. So if you can just pause the video. So farewell being this 4 white and a white. So choose the modes. 1 or more exile all artifacts, exile all creatures, exile all enchantments, exile all graveyards. You're a bit hesitant to exile your graveyard, but if you have to exile all the things, that's what you need. So Wrath of God, this being printing pick, you're printing now. There's so many Wrath of Gods. Destroy all creatures, can't be regenerated. 2 white sorcery. Then we've got Damnation. I've got a few more of these from various Masters sets recently. So Damnation being 2 black and black, destroy creatures, can't be regenerated. That one has text. My others do not have text. Then there's Crux of Fate, this being the one from Strixhaven in the Mystical Archive. You can have another printing if you want. I've also got the Japanese printing as well, but that's in a different deck. I mean, you say, so I've got nearly a full set of Mystical Archive. I think I'm missing Blue Sun Zenith on the Japanese side. 3 black and black, just choose one, destroy all non-dragons or destroy all dragons. I wonder which one you're going to pick. And we've got Garrick's Wake, which is 9 mana, destroy creatures you don't control and all planeswalkers you don't control. So they should be the tribal wrath that destroys all non-creatures, creatures not of the chosen type. This being you named dragons, but like I haven't got that at the moment. It's in another deck. I probably should put a copy in it. I haven't got around to it. Anyway, then we've got Patriarch's Bidding, which is 3 and a black. It's each sorcery. Each player is recursion, so you put loads of things into the graveyard. So this is your way to get them back. It's good. It's basically good if the opponent isn't playing like things that like tribal decks. Anyway, you know your playgroup whether this is good or not. So and that's from the original set they're on. As you see, that's the original. That's the symbol from Onslaught. Each player returns all creature cards of a type chosen this way from their graveyard to the battlefield. All right, then we just round out with the mana rocks and ramp things. So we got artifacts, we got Chromatic Lantern, nearly essential in 5 color. There should probably be an arcane signet in here before we film, but I just haven't got around to putting one in. And we go Soul Ring, take your pick, doesn't really matter. Then we've got something slightly different. So we've got Dragon Sword. So this is basically a mana rock that is associated with dragons. It's when a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, put a gold counter on it. It's tap, remove a gold counter to draw a card, and it taps for mana in any color. Right. We go to the enchantments. So Rhythm of the Wild. So this is one of red and a green. You know what it does. It's creature spells you control can't be countered, and non-token creatures you control have right. It's good because you like to play a lot of mana big spells, and this is good for making them uncounterable. Then we've got Mirai's Wake. So it's just an anthem and basically doubles your mana whenever you tap a land. And we've got the cycle of enchantments from Tarkir. So this is Frontier Siege. So you basically, when it enters, you name Khans or dragons. It's Khans at the beginning of each of your main phases. Add green to your mana pool. Or dragons is whenever a creature with flying enters the battlefield under your control, you may have it fight target creature you don't control. Just useful. Then we've got Sarkhan's Unsealing. It's whenever you cast a creature spell with 4, 5, or 6, it deals. Sarkhan's deals 4 damage to any target, and it's when we cast a creature with power 7 or greater, it deals 4 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. And then we have the last enchantment, it's just Dragon Tempest. It's 1 and a red. So it's when a creature with flying enters the battlefield under control, it gains haste, so that's pretty much everything. It's when a dragon enters the battlefield under control, it deals X damage to any target creature or player, where X is the number of dragons you control. Right, so now we just round out, we do the lands and we'll round out the video. So we're going to say, there's the normal 36 lands in the deck. I'm going to say normally just play what you have. I'll show you what I'm playing currently, but and then you say fill in with what you don't have. I mean, you say your aim is to get the right ratio of coming to play an untapped and untapped lands. So basically you want the thing. So basically, if you don't have original duels, don't worry about it. I'm not even playing them in this deck anyway. Alright, so we go. There's a full cycle of fetch lands. These are all proxies. How do people make their proxies? Basically, I just photocopy the cards. If I have them, I use a printer. I photocopy them, stick them on the actual magic back, and that's what I do. Anyway, there's a full cycle of fetches. So there's 10 fetches, but some of them are real. I prefer the old school, the original ones, artwork generally, but I use, if I've only got the newer ones, I use those. There's 10 of those in a varying mixture. So then there'll be the 10 shock lands. If you have OG jewels, you can play those. These are the ones I got more recently. These are the old school frame. There's 10 of those. Then I have the buddy lands, so 5 of these. These being, I think I've gone for the Ixalan ones on most of them, other than I'm missing the Sun Petal 4. As you see, the ones in Ixalan have the dinosaurs in the background on most of them, which are like dinosaurs and dragons too thing. All right. Then I've got the Triomes. So I've got these cycle of Triomes. These are the original ones from Ikoria. I believe these are the ones if I went into the mana basis a bit more, it might not be these are the correct ones to play. But they're all matching, and they're all real as well on these ones. If you don't have them, you can think about something else. Right, then I've got various 5-color lands. So I've got City of Brass, Cavern of Souls, that one being a good reprint from Ixalan. I didn't get, I got 2 more since when Ixalan. Anyway, I believe I have a full set of caverns now. Then I've got Path of Ancestry, just good 5-color land. The Command Tower. Then we've got the, so this is Haven of the Spirit Dragon. This one's worth a bit more going into. So this taps a mana in 1 mana. It can tap in any mana in any color, spend only to cast a dragon, or 2 mana sacrifice it, return target dragon card or Ugin Planeswalker from your graveyard to your hand. Quite relevant in this is recursion. And I've got the Mana Confluence, so that being the buy a box promo from that's right, that's the end of the video. Thanks very much for joining me, and don't forget, I will be linking the deck from on Moxfield in the description. I will also be back later in the month, probably in 2-3 weeks kind of time, for when Ether Drift comes out, which I'll be doing a box opening for well, it's going to be a pack opening for Ether Drift. I'm basically used packs from my pre-release winnings, and I'll show you what I opened and be doing a giveaway. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I mean, all my other Magic playlists will be linked in the various thing. You just go to the playlist and you can go scroll through them. I've got 42 Commander decks currently, and I aim to feature them all at some point. I've been going back 2 years now. I've done less than half of them. Anyway, I'll get around to doing them all at some point. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps grow the channel. Thanks very much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.